Trump always projects when he says that something's happening. So while he was president, American oversight actually went into...
Sorry to interrupt you, but Goebbels, Hitler's guy always said, always accuse the other side of what you're doing. Right. That's one of the rules. Go ahead.
So even while he was president, there's no way ever that a president should be commenting on an investigation, calling for an investigation, tweeting about an investigation. Right. That's interfering with the Justice Department, which should be an independent entity, which is why Biden didn't comment once during the trial on any of Trump's shit, on Hunter's shit, except to say, no, I won't pardon him. Yes, I will respect the decision. So during office, he regularly called upon the Justice Department to investigate people he thought of as political opponents, specifically Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Senior officials within the FBI, James Comey, Andrew McCabe.
Can we just go through these, though, with you? Sorry to interrupt you, but Hillary Clinton locked her up.
Special counsel Robert Mueller.
Lock her up. Then he had the balls to say, remember, lock her up. That was the chant. He would go to rallies and get thousands of people chanting, lock her up.
With merch. He had merch of that. And banners.
They had t-shirts, exactly.
Websites dedicated.
He then said, I never said that. In an interview recently, like last week, it was last week, right, babe? He said, I never said that. I never said
Fox.
That. Hillary Clinton, I didn't say lock her up.
And then one of the girls nailed him on it because we have 1,000 videos of him saying lock her up. He said to them, he goes, actually, I told him, cool it, calm it down, bring it down. Oh. And then you see him at rallies going, yeah, lock her up, son of a bitch. It's like, roll the tape.
I will say this, Hillary Clinton has to go to jail.
I didn't say lock her up.
She has to go to jail.
I didn't say lock her up.
For what she's done, they should lock her up.
I didn't say lock her up.
Crooked, you should lock her up, I'll tell you.
I didn't say lock her up.
Lock up the Bidens. Lock up Hillary.
I didn't say lock her up.
Lock up Hillary.
I didn't say lock her up.
He called on Robert Mueller. Andrew McCabe lost his pension. He fired him the day before his pension went into effect. Luckily, Biden rectified that.
Excuse me. This is how weaponized it is. This man had spent his life in the FBI, right? FBI. Andrew McCabe was FBI. Mm-hmm. And he spent his life there.
Yep.
One day before he was going to retire and get his pension, Trump fired him so he couldn't get it.
Fucking dirty scumbag.
Now Biden reinstated it, and McCabe's a Republican.
Yeah, he was the deputy director of the
he's
FBI.
Weaponizing it.
He was the deputy director first. So then we found out later that he called on the IRS, and they did it. They put Comey and McCabe into years-long audits because Trump called on them to do that.
So he not only weaponized the DOJ, he weaponized the IRS against his enemies.
He then, after he got acquitted in the impeachment trial, he then Today is not my day. He then exerted further political pressure on the department, including constantly tweeting about his displeasure at the sentencing recommendations of his associates, i.e. Roger Stone.
Right.
He tweeted, "This is a horrible and very unfair situation. The real crimes are on the other side. We cannot allow this miscarriage of justice." The president tweeted that about his own Department of Justice.
So he weaponized it at every turn, basically. Every turn he could. Everything he could get involved in, he did. And they were saying today that this 2020 Tribe program, again, John Oliver, I give credit for the information. And I'm going to look it up. I'm actually going to download it for this next week because I'm going to talk about it on Wednesday and read it. The 2025 project basically says that the government wants to take all the government jobs that have to be and that their civil servants are protected. You don't have to do what the president says. You have to follow the Constitution. That's your job. If the president tells you to do something illegal, you can't be fired for that. As a matter of fact, you're a whistleblower.
Right.
So Trump wants to make it so every single one of the civil servant jobs, all of them, he can fire anybody who doesn't agree with him.
Damn, that fucking
He
dictator.
wants to change that.
Yeah.
He weaponizes everything. He weaponizes the bankruptcy system. Yep. He weaponizes the media. Yep. He weaponizes
tax laws.
Yep.
Tax laws, banking system. Yep. Weaponize the Enquirer.
Women's credibility and societal
norms,
tendency to not believe women. After he tweeted that about Roger Stone, Bill Barr complied. He tweeted, Bill Barr then got involved, and then he tweeted, "Congratulations to Attorney General Bill Barr for taking charge of this case that was totally out of control and should not have been brought." and then goes on to say Bob Mueller is a criminal
like
and he lied
Bill
to Congress.
Barr for weaponizing the DOJ. Basically what he said. And then he has the balls to say Biden's do it. Biden's stayed out of it the entire time.
Then he tweeted about crooked Hillary's top aide, Huma Abedin. The tweets go on and on and on. He called for FBI to be disbanded.
He recently said
the FBI. He wants. By the way, why do criminal? So the guy who follows law and order wants the FBI disbanded. The Republican Party wants to get rid of the FBI.
Yes.
Do you guys
It's insane.
Do you hear? And they've said so much. We've started to go. Hey, I want to get rid of the FBI. Do you guys?
You know what else he just
the
recently?
People that brought down Al Capone, the people that bought that serial killers, the people that find out who's fucking ripping us country, the people who found Bob Menendez, who's dealing with the Egyptian government. The fuck are you guys talking about? The fuck are you talking about? You want to end the FBI?
He recently said, it just came out that he said that he would have people executed. He wanted to have people executed. So he would not only weaponize, other things, he would weaponize weapons.
And people say he wouldn't do that. Well,
he meant excreted.
Yeah, he meant
wants to poop on people, which sounds more like him.
Well, he's already doing that.
Yeah.
He's doing that in court.
I mean, I'm gonna poop him out. By the way,
he told James Comey, who was then his director of the FBI, he wanted a pledge of loyalty and told him he had to drop a case against National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who ultimately pled guilty and then pulled that plea.
He got convicted, by the way. And
Comey refused. He got fired. He fired the deputy
so
director
that would
of the
be
FBI.
Weaponizing the DOJ, wouldn't that?
Then Jeff Sessions, pressured by Trump, informed Congress that he was considering appointing a second special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton because the first one found nothing.
So at every turn, Trump has weaponized the DOJ. Yeah. At every freaking turn. Every turn, Trump has tried to actually stop the DOJ, FBI, anybody investigating his crimes and his people's crimes. Then what happened when they got convicted? Remember what happened when they got convicted at the end?
Oh, he pardoned them.
He pardoned 227 criminals.
Yeah.
Michael Flynn was at the meeting with Putin in Russia, came out, said, we need to, remember he was on QAnon and stuff? Crazy as fuck. And this guy and his brother, on January 6th, his brother was one of the generals that wouldn't send troops to the Capitol. The fuck is everybody talking about?
Again, he pled guilty until Trump got involved. And then he changed his lawyer to Crazy Dr. Pepper and then pulled that plea.
He changed his lawyer to Crazy Dr. Pepper.
Then he didn't like Jessie Liu. Remember this? The U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. She resigned from the Treasury Department because Trump withdrew her nomination because she was going to terrorism and financial crimes. He didn't like how she handled Roger Stone's investigation and that she wasn't aggressive enough with Andrew McCabe. There's so many, but then I think one of the biggest ones, obviously, except for him pardoning all of those people that our justice system was processing or had processed, he then interfered with SDNY. Jeffrey Berman ended up writing a book. He was the U.S. attorney for SDNY. He was the one doing he did a lot of cases that Trump popped in and out of, but one of which was Michael Cohen. Berman said in his book and has said in subsequent interviews that after SDNY prosecuted two prominent Trump allies, he was contacted by Barr's DOJ told to prosecute Democratic lawyer Greg Craig before Election Day to, quote, even things out. The book led Dick Durbin, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, to open an investigation into Berman's allegations, but obviously nothing came from it. He was instructed to move all references from Michael Cohen's paperwork that referenced Individual 1, because it said that he did those crimes at the direction and for the benefit of Individual 1. So they had to remove, they redacted all those references. And then when Michael Cohen got out and was going to write that book, he had him put back in
jail. He didn't just have, by the way, weaponizing. He didn't just have Michael Cohen put back in jail. He had Michael Cohen put back in solitary.